Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, as we see what's going on on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. And just a reminder for you that if you are interested in asking me any sort of questions, leave a comment on day 994, I believe it is, the one that went up yesterday, or on the relevant tweet on my Twitter or on the Discord channel, where you can ask me anything and I will answer it on day 1000. But I'm going to be honest, probably most of you have seen that. Like, what are the chances that someone is sort of like, you know, long-time viewer being like, oh, you know what day I'm going to click back on the Animal Crossing series 995? Not the one called 994 Ask Dear Darling Anything, which certainly would be more interesting, I suppose, if you wanted a question asked. But anyway, hello there, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:05 PM on Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. I'm sort of, like, consciously getting aware that my computer station is getting, like, so... like more and more upgraded, obviously, as the years go on. Like, I think back into like when I was much younger, like the only thing I had was this terrible laptop which I used to play like Neopets and all of these other sort of pet simulator sort of games on. And not just Neopets, mind you. Like I was I can't remember what it was called. There's so many, but we had Neopets, we had Mara Pets, there was another one which I didn't really play, but there was also this other one which I don't even think was a pet simulator. It was like I just remember you played as like an anime character. I think like it was called like Chibi something, and you know I don't even remember playing it all that much, but I just remember it because one time I was playing on it and then like my laptop like froze and died or something like that. Like that's literally the only memory I have of a game. I don't even remember. Like hold on, maybe I can find it or sort of like pet. Hold on, what's Neopets counted as? It's going to be in the same sort of virtual pet website. Okay, virtual pet website. It's called like Chibi something. It's not Cartoonize My Pet. What does that even mean? I don't think I'm going to find it, to be honest. I just have a vaguest memory of what it sounds like. Anyway, I had like this old laptop and I used to play on this like wooden... I think it was like a bookshelf thing, but it was like also could be like a mini sort of like lap table thing. But of course I was very young. I think I was like 7 or something at that age when I got and when I had a laptop. It was not a very good laptop, mind you. It wasn't like my parents got and bought me like a new laptop. It was like some really old laptop or sort of like second hand, third hand from a family member. I don't even know where it came from, to be honest. That's my assumption. I've also just noticed that OBS has got an update where my microphone, I assume what is my active audio channel is like a lighter green colour. Either that or you can't hear me right now. Hold on, I should pause and check you can actually hear me. Well, it seems like you can hear me okay, so, you know, if this ends up being a silent episode or a bit of a juicy commentary that you'll miss out on. But yeah, so I'm playing on that little thing, you know, in the living room, not even in my bedroom, and then, you know, upgrading to my next computer, getting a desk for my really tiny room. My room is so tiny, it basically only had space for a bed, a cupboard, a chest of drawers, kind of. Actually, I don't even know if I had room for that chest of drawers eventually. Maybe I don't know. I had 2 very small rooms when I was growing up, mainly because I liked the small rooms. I didn't want like a bigger space. Nowadays, I definitely want a bigger space in my room and that sort of thing. But when I was very young, I was like, I don't need much house. I got a bed, I got a desk for my computer, and that sort of thing, and that's it. And I remember it was just like not terrible, but it was it was very like sort of small, flimsy-esque blue desk from I don't even know. Like Tesco, no, I think it was from Argos, actually. I think it was one of those. And that's like where my computer was, and monitor, my Windows Vista computer, the one like bought pre-built from Curry's or something. I don't even remember. What a waste of money that was. Okay, well, not a waste of money, but like what how overpriced it probably was compared to, you know, its potency, I suppose, at the time. And then building my own new computer and still using that desk, and now upgraded to like this big sort of like curved L-shaped desk, getting a second monitor, upgrading my computer again. Now I've technically got a third monitor because now I've got like a microphone stand, I've got an audio interface, I've got my switch here, I've got like a monitor stand for my third monitor, quote, just a display tablet. Let's turn it on right now. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. You probably heard that yourself. Currently there's not going to be anything on it. I don't even know what I would put on it. Normally, you know, when I'm not using it as like a drawing tablet, I would just put, you know, like a Twitch stream or something on it, and then play 2 games simultaneously on my other monitors. Now, you know what, maybe I could put this Google Docs in here because we have our writing group, me and my friend's writing group tomorrow, and I actually got to write like the story. I'm not going to tell you what the story's about because the writing group is tomorrow, and I'm going to be writing it tonight. It's probably the most last minute I've left a writing group assignment. Actually, you know, let's put it over here. I have an idea for it now. You know, it's not the most. I don't know why this resolution's so weird on this monitor as well. Oh, it's probably because it's so much bigger, right? I've probably set the resolution like really high up. Yeah. Just in case, you know, you're someone who's watching, who's in that writing group, and you don't want to get spoiled on that sort of thing, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll tell you about it tomorrow, provided we actually have that meeting or not. But I have an idea with it. But that's not what I'm going to talk about for now. But yeah, I'm slowly sort of becoming aware that my sort of, battle station, as they call it, is like getting upgraded and upgraded. It's getting more and more sort of like things going on. Like my cables they're not an absolute mess back there, but they are quite messy. I will certainly say they're quite dusty. Is probably the main thing I'd say about them. I don't have like a cable management system. Maybe I should get one. I don't know what sort of cable management system I would get, to be honest. The biggest problem is I'd like kind of things to stay like liquid, loosey-goosey. I like things to sort of move around a bit. You know, I like to adjust my monitors here from time to time. So being able to sort of have that freedom in the cables to actually move them around is actually quite useful for me, especially with this third monitor with the display tablet. It is actually kind of, you know, as I discovered when I was actually drawing it yesterday. If you didn't see, I drew a little, I did a kind of quick drawing of D for a Q&A thing. I don't know, I actually looked at it for a while, but last time I looked at it, you know, I looked at it this morning and I was like, wow, her forehead is like so big. Why did something looks wrong about this drawing, but I can't quite put my finger on what looks wrong about it. But you know, whatever, doesn't really matter, neither here nor there. What's done is done, and you get the point across. But I've found that having, as expected, the monitor arm, the monitor pole on this side of a desk kind of gets in the way whenever I want to pull the monitor down, or if it doesn't get in the way, when I want to put it away, it doesn't go back far enough. So I had to do the sort of thing where I had to sort of like lift it around the monitor sort of stand thing before I actually start drawing, which is fine. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world because it's better than what I used to have to do, which was, you know, set things up, put my keyboard in the right position, you know, make sure the stands at right height, and then like it just was a mess. Like it basically ate up like 50% of my desk space. Well, now it can sort of like hang over the desk, and it's kind of fine. It's just a bit more of a nuisance when it could be. But you know, that's a future me's problem for when I get a different desk, perhaps, or when I adjust this desk to actually make it properly work. I mean, I saw the thing in the suggestions was to get like a wooden block so it reaches past the sort of like barricade thing on underneath of a table, and then it can grip on any side properly. But I just looked at it and went, and it seems like it might be a little bit shaky, I suppose, if it's just on a wooden block. But maybe that was the solution. Maybe it's not. I don't really know. But for now, it's like this, and it's not a problem yet. It might be a problem later, in which case I'll have to sort of play that by ear. But for now, it's fine. You know, as always, it's a little bit of setup to get it going. So, you know, it's not as easy to sort of like plug and play, you know, bring it down and that's it. Actually, you know, let's see how difficult it is. You know, what I normally do is I push the monitor back, I have to twist it forward a bit, and then I bring it around, and then I can put it down. So really, it's not that big an issue. I'm just being a big baby about it. Oh, actually, that's like a much better position to put it in. Hold on, or is it? I don't know. I will say it does jiggle a bit when I draw on it, which is probably, you know, that's kind of because I didn't buy like I can't remember what it's called, but there's like a specific brand on monitor arm which is like meant to be really, really good, like the go-to like professional brand or whatever, but I didn't buy one of those because, you know, they're expensive. So that's why it jiggles a little bit, but it's okay. I stabilize it mostly by resting it on like one of my wrist pads, so it's not too bad. But yeah, like, I don't know. At some point, I should do a bit of cable management of what's going on. I should figure out proper places for everything to go, I think. Because right now my Stream Deck's sort of like hanging out here. The Stream Deck moves around like crazy because I basically don't know where to put it. My phone is basically just under my drawing tablet because now there's actually space for it, which is good. And yeah, have I done that today? I don't know if I take my medication today, so you know, I'll put my box of medication there just to remind me. I still have a poppy here from like Remembrance Day, and like I've got like this little bell from like Lindt chocolate rabbits or reindeers or whatever. Listen, that's often tied around my neck. I don't know why it's on my table, to be honest. I should probably just throw it away, but you know me, who I don't like to discard things. You know what? I could put it around this deer's neck because I have a nice little deer statue I got from Croatia, covered in dust, mind you. Get a little tissue, wipe it down, because it is very, very dusty. It does not deserve that sort of mistreatment. I should really dust my things more often. so we're not just like accumulating it, I suppose, while being on this desk. But yeah, I'm sort of just like, you know, what's next, I suppose, when we upgrades for my computer, that sort of thing, battle stations, that sort of thing, or living space upgrades, that sort of thing. Well, maybe not living space. It's not really. It's not like my computer desk is where I live. It is, though, very nice to me, very useful. Like, I think a better chair might be in the works. I mean, this chair's fine. I think I wouldn't say it's like the most. I don't sit on it and be like, wow, this is the best chair in the world. I sit on it and be like, yeah, you know, it gets the job done. That's kind of all. It's not all you need for a chair, I suppose. If you do sit on it for long periods of time, you probably do want a chair which is, you know, kind of good, you know, so you don't give yourself a back injury or something later. That actually looks very cute. It's turned it into sort of like Christmas Day, so, you know, there we go. A reindeer, you might say. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say about this. What was I going to say about this? Oh yeah, a keyboard. Perhaps I get a new keyboard upgrade. I don't know, like, I feel like I should do some sort of cable management or something, to be perfectly honest, because, you know me, I like things to be organised when they can be, or when they should be, and that sort of thing. And yeah, and I'm not going to be like, when I see those pictures of people having like perfectly managed cables and like server rooms, etc., etc., I'm just like, yes, that's very satisfying, and I'm glad they put in that effort to have things sorted out, because, you know, when things are organised and that's very much a situation where you want things to be organised, right? You'd be surprised though, because a lot of things tend to, I mean, if you went at it from the mindset of like, I'm going to set up a server room, I'm going to set up things to be organised, probably when they first set things up, it was reasonably organised to a certain degree. But then, you know, as more and more things were required, more things need to change, more things got plugged in or adapted or like taken out or whatever, it eventually became a bit of a mess as it slowly goes out of control. Because when one thing's out of place, it's like, okay, it's not too bad. You can sort of deal with it as a temporary solution. You're like, there's no point in incorporating a whole new system just to organise this one new cable or whatever. But when it goes into 2 to 3 to 5 to 10 to 20, and then the entire thing is kind of like that. So really, if I was to reassemble my entire sort of computer, my desk setup right now, I would do it with a lot more thought, probably. I would have a cable management system to see how things goes, to see where I could put things, you know, like manage where the cables hang off the back and that sort of thing. But, you know, since I did it kind of incrementally, it's all a little bit of a mess right now anyway. Which I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's just kind of a human thing in the end, isn't it? Sort of like an avoidability of life. But yeah, I mean, it's not to say I don't think cable management is pretty cool, you know, especially with server rooms. I mean, I don't work in a server room, and I haven't really been into many server rooms and that sort of thing. But, you know, the most organised of all of them, they've always got like these nice little cable coverings, colour coordinated, running at like nice angles. Like, actually, this is a thing we used to have in electronics. We used to work on these things called breadboards, which you would it's basically a board with a load of holes inside of it. It was like a grid of holes, and underneath that grid of holes there was like a thin bit of wire, a bit of metal connecting like certain rows of holes together, and you would have two rows going in like long columns down the side of a breadboard. The breadboards were quite long, they're like a TV remote, I'd say in shape and size. Down the side of it, they would be your power rails. You would have like a plus 5 volts one and a 0 volt one, or a minus 5 volt ones, depending on what you kind of needed. Which is setting a single recipe, I suppose. And then you would have all the other grids would be connected in their rows. So anything in the same row would connect to each other as just like an easy way to connect things together, because you could connect like the power source to one of those rows and then connect like all the things you need off of it in parallel, etc., etc. But a major part of it is the fact that you had to do a lot of wire management of that sort of thing, because you wanted things to be neat. You wanted things to be tidy, because you would like wire up like a chip, like a D-type, you know, a D-type oscillator. Ooh, check me out with my electronics knowledge. And it was often, you know, you sort of like, you will kind of want things to be neat and tidy. Like, it was sort of like unwritten rules, or like actual rules of how things. Did I just say a shooting star? Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Where things had to basically be in straight lines. If you were connecting from one row to another, straight line. And it'd be like, if anything connected directly to the positive power rail, had to be red. The 0 volt power rail had to be green. To the negative power rail, had to be black. And all the other sort of things could be like whatever you want, like things of different systems and circuits. No, don't go, right? Yeah, okay. I just kind of like skipped through what you were saying, and if I said you were to go, I would have just reset the game right here. Yeah, and like things in like different systems, you want them to be interconnected using the same color wire, and then it's like, you know, if you need something else to also be connected simultaneously to this row, you would take that row and connect it to a different row, so then you'd have more holes to connect it, because you only had like space for like 5 different connections on a single row, and if more things needed to connect to it, then you had to go to another thing. And then it's like wires should never cross, and they should never go diagonally across things, and they shouldn't block other holes, or unless absolutely necessary or something. But I remember that I very strictly abided by those rules. And oh yeah, and if you had to do a bend in your wire ever, there should be 90-degree bends. But then I tried to very strictly abide by those sort of rules, I suppose, when I was actually, you know, wiring up my projects. But then I remember for my GCSE project, I did a combination lock. And the thing with a combination lock is you had to do a lot of comparisons. It was, if you're curious, it was like a 4-bit combination lock or whatever. And then like I had to have like 4 XOR gates. Is it XOR or XNOT? I can't remember. Anyway, gates like combining the actual set combination and the inputted combination. And then I don't believe we had like four input and chips. No, or chips? No, and chips or whatever. For that sort of thing. So I had to basically get like a chip which had like 8 2 input NAND gates, AND gates on it, and just wire them all together, like all the inputs and comparisons together to produce an output. And it was one of those hideous like wiring jobs ever, because there was just literally not enough space. Because if you don't know how it works, so breadboards, they basically have like a division in the middle, and then they have the 2 grids of connected rows on either side, and then when you get a chips, they basically straddle the 2 grids. So then you have like chips with like 16 inputs, or have like 8 inputs on one side, 8 inputs on the other side, all on adjacent rows from each other. And that very quickly becomes an absolute mess of wires and tangled things. And I remember for that project as well, I needed to have multiple breadboards, because usually what would happen is we'd have 2 breadboards stuck together or whatever, and we'd stick it onto like a lid of not a Tupperware box, but like one of those, just like a plastic box or whatever. And then you would do your entire project on that sort of thing. And then like inside the box, you could put like other bits and pieces. You store the boxes upside down, so the pieces wouldn't like fall out or anything. And you could put things inside the box of things you need later for the next lesson, etc. But I remember this project I did was so big, because, you know, classic overachiever me back in school. I needed another box, another like set of breadboards just to fit things on. And I remember it was just an absolute mess of me like wiring things from one breadboard to the other. I like kept the boxes like sandwiched back to back against each other. Took up like double room that everyone else took with their projects, and it was like very unsatisfying aesthetically. Like I still did my best. Like I kept every single segment in so this is Lily or Fauna. Lily's not home, so that makes it quite difficult, but she might be just around here somewhere. It was a very big sort of like eyesore to look at because of the amount of tangled wires, but it was still like the best I could have done in that situation, because there was like no other choice with the wire and the cable management. So yeah, I don't know, that memory sort of just came to mind. I'll try and find it, if we can find Lily or Fauna quickly enough. I'll try and find a picture, not that I'm going to show you the picture, you know, I'm going to visually describe the picture to you. And you might be like, what's the point of you finding a picture? I'm finding a picture for my own purposes. Thank you very much. I'm doing it so I can look at it, because we had to make like a whole project like write-up for it. Mine was a huge write-up, I remember that. Like it was so big. Anyway, I got full marks for that project, so good job past me. I did it. Yar. So this might be fun as well. We'll see. We'll give it to her. X gonna give it to you. Okay, what year was I in GCSEs? 2013? That sounds too early. Is that right? Is it really that long ago? That's not even my photos here. Let's try and find these photos. No, this looks way too young. Must be 2016? Is that right? Oh, that's sick form. There certainly are some projects in here. No, I think it was a GCSE project I was doing. So 2015. I suppose this is GCSE time, maybe? Is this from GCSE to sixth form? I don't know. It's been a long time. Yeah, okay, here we go. What project's this? No, but this... Hold on. Must be 2014. This is me being in lower sixth. Here we go, upper sixth. Wow, look at this neat little thingamajig here. Is this even mine? I don't know if that's mine. It uses purple wiring. I never use the purple wiring all that often, so I'm not sure if this is even mine. I think it's my friend's. Is that my one? Oh, no, that one's my one. Not as neat as his one, I'm going to be honest. If I recall, I think he used pliers to like straighten out his wires or something, whatever. Is that mine? That looks very neat. That might be mine, let's see. I genuinely don't know. But yeah, we had to take so many pictures. So many of my like GCSE pictures from are just like from electronics class, because we had to take pictures to make the projects and put the projects, be like, this is evidence of us actually doing the project, you know. This is us testing it. This is us doing whatever X, Y, Z. I made a GCSE bookmark here. Is this it? What year was GCSE? Hold on. I was 16 doing GCSEs, right? So it should be 2013. Is it the start of 2013? End of 2013? I can't even tell. I said I thought this looked too young, but maybe it wasn't too young. Was this during GCSE years? I genuinely don't remember. How long has it been? Oh, it's a birthday card I made for a friend. Oh, it's my birthday. I don't know what birthday this is. No, this is too early. It must have been later 2013 or early 2014. This matters literally not at all to you, but I want to find this photo. These photos, just so I can look at it and gaze upon me a question, for I am a rarity. Maybe I don't even have photos of it anymore. That'd be what an anticlimax. Wait, maybe it was my A-level project. Was it my A-level project? Oh, it might have been my A-level project, not my GCSE one, which had multiple boards. Is this it? No, my A-level project was an audio mixer. I remember that. Did we have... Maybe it's on my Google Drive. Let's see. Because I still have stuff from school. You're getting an extra special long episode today. Let's see. My personal statements. Revision notes. Programming projects. What on earth is going on? I don't know where I am anymore. I might have deleted them. Oh well. maybe they don't exist anymore. But on that note, I'm going to round off this episode here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. Bye bye for now.